I'm Jamieson Thomas. I'm originally from Miami, and I studied art at Skidmore College in Saratoga Springs, New York. I studied fine art, and somewhere along the way I decided I should have a business degree and an art history degree, and I got all of them and then went on to pursue art as a career in New York City, at which point I got scared and I decided that perhaps I should do the art as a hobby, see what I could do, and I got involved in the product development world. I started out doing illustration and really enjoyed it, but I didn't make enough money, and so business was my life for 30 years. I did a little bit of exhibiting here and there through the years, and most of my work dealt with telling a story, a narrative, something about what was happening in the world around me. And I suppose that's really the crux of my work where I am today as I re-emerge as an artist, now that I've put my business world behind me. And I am here today to talk about my Rose series. Beside me, we have Rose, my dear friend. She's a multi-layered person, and she's got stories about roses, quotes, song lyrics, just all the types and varieties of roses scattered and mixed within her. The head says, a rose is a rose is a rose, or is it? And that is really my story. The rose holds so many meanings in the world, and at different times in my life, it's meant different things. And Rose started 20 years ago, right after I had a little bit of a discussion with my husband about what do the roses mean that he's giving to me. He certainly is the most wonderful husband in the world, and we've been married 32 years, but during the time there were bumps along the way, and I was getting roses because there had been something that had happened that he needed to say I'm sorry for. And up until that point, I had always given my mom these beautiful peach roses to say how much I loved her. So suddenly there was this friction about the meaning of the word rose. And so that's where she came about. I felt like, I loved flowers. I loved giving flowers that meant something specific. So I chose to use the rose as the beginning. And I told my husband from now on, I didn't want any cut roses. I only wanted a rose bush. So I was given this rose bush. And it grew and it grew, and over the years it took on new meaning. And I just thought that it would be nice to take the perspective from the bottom up. And these are all oil paintings, and there are many layers in oil paintings, just like in my text. And I didn't want to limit my work to just an oil painting, and many of my pieces do have some sort of text in them. And this particular, actually all of the series that I'm doing on the rose, I picked one that does not have text yet. And that's something, as we go along, we develop, and each piece has a story in it, and you work through it, and you try to build from one piece to the next piece. So, I started with, actually, this was the very first piece in my work, because it kind of picked up the visual of the rose head, and I moved into this, and so this is the one that actually got the words first. And so I came up with quotes that I thought told the story, and I put them around the outside because I wanted it to be subliminal and not tell too much. I like for people to look at the work and enjoy just the painting and the light and the color, and then be drawn in and ask themselves, what is it that she's saying? Where is this going? Is it just a pretty picture, or is there more to it? And hopefully they'll realize that there's text on the outside of my paintings, and look a little more closely and work from there. So I started here, and then I said, I need to tell the beginning. And so I went back to the rose bush, and then I came forward. And as this progressed, I started thinking, okay, there are thorns on rose bushes, and it hurts sometimes when it pricks you, but why is a thorn on the rose bush? It's there to protect the rose, and anybody who goes for the rose has to understand there might be something more there. They might have to suffer a little bit as they're getting what they want. And it's like that in life. And so I suppose really, when it all comes down to it, this whole series, which will probably be 11 or 12 paintings, will tell the entire story of not only the rose, a single rose, or the bush, but the meaning behind that and what it can mean to so many different people. And that's the story of my roses. Thank you.